So welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm touching base on a couple things, but mainly prosecutorial misconduct and the confidential informant. And we've heard a ton of talk in the last few days. YouTube has been abuzz talking about prosecutorial misconduct and what that could be. I'm going to talk about them in relation to each other in this video. So I'm just going to read this brief section from the latest response from the state to the defendant's 17th request for discovery. The state of Idaho, by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney, and submits the attached exhibits ABCDEFG, HIJK LMNO in supplemental response to defendant's request for discovery and defendant's supplemental requests 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16, the state submits the attached Exhibit P in response to defendant's 17th request for discovery. The state notes it has previously complied with the defendant's discovery request pursuant to the court's order related to the defendant's supplemental request 3 and 15. Their response goes on to say IGG related materials in parentheses. The prosecutor misconduct is always followed by for withholding exculpatory evidence. So let's talk about how that might relate to IGG. Okay. Now, as a reminder, genetic genealogy testing is used by LE to create a tip or a lead. It is not admissible in court. It is the equivalent to a lie detector test. Helpful, but not accurate enough. So let's talk about the DNA for a minute. Just hypothetically, the IGG was the tip that led the FBI to BK. Then the FBI agent that gave the tip would be the confidential informant. And because it was FBI, they didn't hand over the information, knowing that it was just a tip or a lead when they were forming their probable cause affidavit. However, DOJ has to hand over the IGG information to the prosecutor. It can't be missing or not there or accidentally destroyed. In fact, if they do decide to destroy the DNA evidence, it has to be after convicted and ordered by a judge. So if it wasn't handed over, it violates DOJ policy. So is the fight over discovery just because the prosecution didn't follow DOJ policy? Some people feel that this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for Anne to be putting up a fight over this. So hypothetically, why didn't they follow DOJ policy? It doesn't make sense unless it was dubious. Now, as a reminder, Anne is going with a very interesting defense. In this case, that legally surprises a lot of people. She is going with the alternative suspect defense. And this is just a very rare defense, especially when you include the interesting fact that with the IGG aspect, because there is no case law set on this matter yet. And there needs to be. I mean, this is about all of our rights. Let's get into it a little bit more. So I hope they're relying on more evidence, because they can't rely on the FBI tip that was announced at the arrest that they built their entire search warrant for. Didn't Bill Thompson flat out say the FBI destroyed everything to do with the IGG per DOJ guidelines? Those guidelines actually say for everything to be sent to the prosecutor's office in court, and nothing is supposed to be erased or deleted until after the conviction is obtained and there is a court order to do so. So with that said, how are any of us comfortable with a prosecutor in open court asking for chain of custody evidence to be withheld? So I don't care if they're using it in court or not. It's how they got a warrant for arrest. All right, so everything I'm about to tell you is just speculation. It's completely made up and imaginary, some other person's thoughts. I'm just bringing it up, but scientifically, it sounds like it's a possibility. So a lot of people have come to the conclusion that a IgG scam is possible. And we're not saying it's real. So I'm just going to speculate a few things to you. I just want to know your reaction. Everything I say is just completely made up, but it's using some of the facts that we know about IgG. CODIS has 13 fixed markers, so you have no markers to pick and choose from when comparing. But there are several hundred SNP markers used in forensic science. With that knowledge, does it suggest that there might be existing forensic science methodology which will allow labs to pick and choose markers? This sounds very likely, and it would raise questions about DNA testing. If you're allowed to pick and choose markers from several hundred, you may be able to manufacture DNA comparisons, hypothetically speaking, of course. So don't forget when I say that there are existing libraries of DNA markers which show probability of occurrence of the marker of a randomly chosen person. So you might have a relative who submitted their DNA to one of these databases. The FBI lab only needs 13 to 20 specific markers to discern genetic identity. Speculating here, but what would stop them from sending off, say, 19 that they needed and not sending the others because they're not necessary? So in this hypothetical scenario, the lab would omit or systematically exclude markers. No one's switching markers here. So look, I'm just completely speculating here. I want to hear your thoughts below. I mean, just in conclusion, IgG was never meant to be used like this. It is only for cold cases with better sequential material than a small amount of denigrated skin cell, because there is no case law set on this matter yet. And there needs to be. I mean, this is about all of our rights. And that's going to be it for today. I really appreciate you watching. If you gained any value from this video, I'd love if you would subscribe to my channel. I try to put out content daily, including videos, shorts, live streams, community posts. Hit that notification bell because I have yet to get into a live streaming schedule, and I'd love for you to be part of the live chat. It's so fun and a great community. So with that said, thank you so much for watching today, and please leave your comments below, and I'll see you next time.